This is Ashen on Xbox One X. We're getting a native 4K resolution, no HDR support, but you do also have the option, sorry, wrong menu, to turn on 1080p if you'd like. So you can do that in the graphics. You can have it on or off. Kind of neat. So this game is really interesting. It is a Dark Souls-esque title. It's stamina-based combat, and it's very interesting. So you're in this world where it's pure darkness. Things are bad. There's been eras of light, and now you've just entered a brand new one. And that kind of sets the stage for this. You're trying to protect the light and build the light. And you're fighting against forces that want to end this new era before it even really begins. And you are the sort of force, protecting that. Alright, so that aside, the game is very interesting because it features what's called a passive multiplayer. So this is a single player game, but people come and go. I've been told it's similar to the Dark Souls sort of summoning type of system. So you can use a filter and put in a code, and your friends can do the same. And then you'll kind of like phase in and out while you're playing together. It's an interesting concept. I would have liked to see a direct co-op experience because this is so focused on 2 players, but it kind of works. So you always have an AI unless you turn it off, and you can have random people too unless you disable it. The choice is yours if you want to play all by yourself. Sometimes it's actually better to play by yourself. You get quests, and it's actually a fairly large map, so I've played a fair bit of it. You can see there's a little bit more to it. I'd say, quite a few little areas. And I've picked this spot because it seems to be right after I finished off a sort of key narrative area. And I don't really want to spoil things, right? So that's why I've picked this location. And I'm actually quite a few hours in. And the gameplay you get out of this is based on, your ability to sort of fight and move through this, because it is Dark Souls-esque. When you die in an area, the enemies and everything come back. So that's kind of annoying. I don't like games like that. Personally, I hate games like that. But this one is just really a truly beautiful and charming game. So we've got people to chat to, and the goal of this is to sort of rebuild the light, right? So I want to show off this town thing. So you get like a town at the start, and there's all these different things. There's like gear and upgrades and stuff you can get. This is sort of the edge of town. But it starts as like a small little ruin, and then you find people as you're going along, as you're on this journey. You meet new characters, and then you can invite them to join and follow your your clan. But they're not just like useless people. They're people that are collaborating and building your society. See, as they're working on structures. So as you come back and you continue on your path, you actually notice like a city being built, a society. So it's an interesting sort of dynamic to the actual experience. And you're completely free to do what you want. This is an open world. It feels kind of linear in the sense that you have focused areas that you're supposed to go to. You see on the map, I have specific kind of markers that I can add to. Yellow's main quest, and then the other ones are side quests, and your characters you meet, they have sort of stories that you can engage in. And I'm going to actually be doing the 2 kind of ones right there. And you can get a legend, and you can zoom in and out. I guess I should just show the legend for a sec so you get an idea of this. And there's dungeons too, so you can go off the beaten path and fight creatures. And yeah, there's actually quite a lot to it. And I think it's a very beautiful game. I absolutely love the aesthetics of this. The way it's so artistic and interesting. It's truly just a gorgeous little world. And it's one I've had my eye on for quite a while, ever since they sort of showed it off at E3 so many years ago. E3 17, I was behind closed doors checking this out, and I thought it was very impressive. And then 18, I got to play it, and I think I played it at maybe at PAX too. I'm not entirely sure, I can't recall. But I've played this quite a few times, over the years, or have seen it in action. When it's behind closed doors, you're just watching. There's traders too, so you can trade items. And then there's a very simplistic sort of setup. It kind of feels similar to Assassin's Creed, so you kind of move on the D-pad. And you have a number of different tools, and you have like secondary items, so you can have like a shield for blocking, if that's what you want to do. A couple different mechanics for combat, and I just wasted my health, so that's fantastic. But you recharge it here. So I've got this character and this kind of guy, you know, he's able to fast travel you. So you have to actually unlock that by fighting certain things. So you're getting things as you progress too. It's just very interesting to see the characters sort of build and expand. We also have runes. I've got all of the ones, well, talismans. Damn it, they just added one. Open doors by yourself. Interesting, that might be useful. And then there's relics, and it's kind of like bonuses that make you a little bit stronger. When you die, you lose your points. You see that on the top left. As you continue along, you're actually gaining more health and other features. So it is sort of an RPG type experience, if that makes sense. And I'm going to transfer some of this crap I have sitting here over there. In that sense, and it's just a very smooth, relaxing, really lovely game, and I think it's got great audio to it. So I'm going to kind of, I'm just going to walk over to this area so you can sort of see a sense of like the progression of the movement. It's a very dynamic area, and there's lots of verticality to it. Basically different levels of areas, and you can climb off the beaten path, and you can sort of end up in little secret areas. And there's like little critters and stuff running around sometimes. Oh, jeez, okay. Yeah. Ow. I don't know, I kind of don't like the sense that enemies like are continuously, you know, appearing. It kind of like annoys me. And then you'll see that somebody will like appear and then they'll fight with me or something. You notice that on the top kind of left hand side there of the icon beside my name. See, that's, you know, that's like a character buddy thing. And obviously you can turn that. Well, am I going completely the wrong way here? Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of going off. No, we're not going to fight these guys. I don't want to. I want to get going on the mission so I can kind of show off a little bit of actual story. Well, not story, but like side quests, and so you get an idea of how it works. So the world renders just beautifully. I mean, I haven't seen it. Damn it, I hate when they do that. There's so many of these things that just like sit around corners and jump you. It's not like a jump scare, but it's like you just lose like half your health. The game is vicious, and yeah, it's pretty hardcore, honestly. It's not hard because it's just like, you know, stamina based. You gotta just, you know, pick your movements and stuff and use your AI partner correctly. They can actually be really helpful if you use them in the right sense. But yeah, I haven't noticed really any sort of like pop-in or any sort of problems. This is like one of the secret areas. You can find like I think it was a shield here. But you get that sense of it, and it's just this large world. I'd like to say that it sort of reminds me of a Fable style, where it's like hub-based. I don't want to fight this guy; he takes way too long. But you can see that on the map that it's like a bunch of different, you know, areas that you can visit. It's all seamless, but you know, it does feel like this is a section, this is a section, and this is a section, and they all carry their own sort of, you know, design and sort of look to them. These two feel very similar, but when you get to the next one, it's more of like a destroyed, desolate sort of ash location, and it's very interesting. And again, like, look at the world, the scale of it. I haven't really had, again, any real problems with it when I've been playing. Like this dog. I hate these dog creatures. But yeah, you can die really quickly, and you gotta be smart with what you're doing. You'll get the sense of it as you play. And it's a very detailed world. There's something that's very elegant about the style of this. I love what they've been able to achieve with this, and to see it finally, you know, kind of available. I'm very happy about that, because it's something I have been looking at for a while. While it's not like, you know, my favorite type of thing where it's like all Dark Souls-esque and deadly and hardcore, I still think that this is a very, very well done game and a beautiful experience. Ow. And I think they've achieved great things with the visual style on this one, the aesthetics and like the look of the world and little creatures. I never get these guys. I will warn you though, if you are a fan of achievements, that the game does have really odd counts where it's like 17, and I found that really sort of annoying. What are we doing? I thought we were finding something here. Help me hunt the Eaner. Okay, we've got to hunt these things. I don't know if it's this thing. Ugh. I don't think I have them equipped, but you can like throw spears and stuff. And yeah, there's like wildlife out here living, and you can like chop up deers, and there's birds. Oh, and there's a lot of dynamics to the combat too. There's sort of like a lock-on system. And oh, nice going on that one, co-op guy. See, I have like a love-hate relationship with them, because sometimes they go out and they're like just stupid and they die, but like a lot of the time they kick ass, the AI buddies, you know? They put in the effort for you, and I really appreciate that. Oh, we're already done? Okay, so we got to return there after. But we also want to do this quest because we're here too. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, so we're really just doing sort of like these little side quests that don't really alter, like, you know, show off the main story and stuff. Because it's sort of interesting to jump into. I don't think you'd even understand it if I kind of just showed you what was happening story-wise, because it's so, you know, weird and strange, the language they talk about and stuff like that. So we got to return back to base. I think that's, yeah. And then we're going to be able to fast travel to the other area and show off the new content section. But just get a sense of like the scale of this. And you can just climb things. You can end up on top of the wall, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I think I've been on that wall before. And you can actually like climb all the way up, and there's all kinds of weird stuff that can happen. And it's very dynamic in that sense of what you can actually, you know, end up climbing into. Because it doesn't really limit you. It's sort of like, I don't want to say it's like Breath of the Wild, but you get that sense of like climbing where it's like, you can kind of like force it so that you can make it to certain places. And just sort of climb around and see what there is. Because there's little secrets, and obviously like dungeon areas, you know, you get a little bit challenging things. The dungeons I've done are like kind of more linear in a sense, but they're pretty neat. And then you fight these tough boss guys, and you get like a little bit of a cinematic. One thing that does bother me though is when you are fighting a boss, you'll often, if you die, which does happen quite a bit, the one boss was really just kicking my ass, the one I did to unlock my fast travel, and you have to actually like walk through like a number of enemies to fight, like get to them again, and I just like that aggravates the hell out of me in games. I don't like it at all. And then you get really good at just kind of walking by. Like that's basically what it does, is it's sort of, I guess this is just like a checkpoint. Yeah, I'm not thinking straight. What it does is it kind of tells me that it's not important to fight these things, and that I should just run by them instead of engaging with them. Because it's like, I'm going to die, and I'm going to have to redo this all over again, or I'm going to lose my health potions. So I'm going to have to be, like, I'll be screwed when I go to fight the boss. So I come into a system of where I'm just kind of rolling and running by enemies based on their timings that I've learned. And I think that kind of ruins the effect of actually engaging in the various characters that you come across when you're fighting. I like to actually fight things and then have that as a purpose, you know, like as far as like leveling me up. And, you know, you do get certain benefits out of it, but it's not as worthwhile to me personally. I'm just going to hand in this quest, and then you'll see the really crazy new little section here. And it's very interesting, because you'll probably, like, you'll see this, and then you'll go and, you know, start the game, and you'll see that it's like a much darker, sort of destroyed, desolate place, just because of the enhancements that the people, you know, that are joining my little clan here have actually been contributing to the group and building. Again, another little station where you can upgrade things. There you go, now I can hold more. So you get an idea of, you know, just sort of crafting, because crafting is a big part of this too. You improve your weapons and stuff. I believe I showed off like the crafting table. That was up over there, and yeah, just what it can kind of do for you.
Now hand me those Einar heads. See these rays? A good hunter needs a good
You know, there's
spear.
the full voicing
My
and everything
spears are better
too.
than most.
And then you're learning new areas. See, I just completely ignored this, and I went straight for the main quest. And that kind of is up to you. You can do what you want. And then you can get a new quest, and you can see that like a new area shows up. And they're just like active side missions that I assume end up in an achievement when you do it. Because you can see your progression with the characters as it kind of goes along, those little diamond-shaped items. That's how much you're working through their particular little story, as to say. I think we got like one more quest here. Yeah, we just gotta go. We have to go up or down. Sometimes I get lost on the map. The map's easy to understand, but I just sometimes, yeah. Oh, looks like you've been
I
building.
think my family. So, Vaughn, my father and brother died
You're welcome.
trying to save me from an agent.
See, my health's kind of increasing. I'm unlocking new crafting things and stuff like that. Very, very easy going. I just, yeah, I really dig the style that they've created here. I think it's a lot of fun to kind of engage in, and there's just a lot to it. So we're gonna have to actually teleport and keep going. So there's a lot of side things to do, right? You're not exactly like locked onto doing a mission because it is an open world game, but you can play it completely linear, and it does have that sort of funneled linear sense to it. A lot of people kind of get like mad when I use the, you know that concept of it being that even though it is an open world game, but you get what I mean. Is it funnels down. You have a little bit of freedom, but you still have a concise path that you eventually, go down. Oh, this is the wrong table thing. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to use my talisman stones. Oh, and you can like drown in water, so be careful in the rapids areas, because they could be the end of you. But it's pretty cool seeing like a large little city going on here. I think that's really a neat aspect to it. Second wind, your stamina cost is reduced. I don't know. We're gonna fast travel over to the other area so you get a glimpse at least of what it's like. Loading is also a little bit long after you die. It's not terrible, but it's kind of like, I wish it wasn't as long. I kind of want to just show off this section quickly. So we ride in here on our little beast thing. It's pretty cool. But this is why I wanted to show it off. It's a very, very different area. And this is literally going from, that section that we were just in down into one zone. And you can see like the far distance. It's like a snowy sort of death area. And it's just like very elegant, smooth, very fluid scale. With very minimalistic design. You get very basic features to edit on your character before you begin. And we could go here and we could do like the mission there, but we're gonna fast travel to the new point to kind of progress further. And we've got our little buddy right there too. And we have arrived. Again, like an entirely different sort of location. And you can look back there and see the sort of ash place. And then we can continue on our journey here. Towards a bold new world. Lots of sliding too. You slide down things all the time. Listener's Ridge. It's just a very, very vast place. And I haven't done a ton of combat. Just because, I'm just kind of like busy walking around. But I think we might need to buddy up to do that. There's some certain areas where you get like your AI buddy to help you. Did I knock them off the cliff? Damn it, go. I thought they would be like knockable off the cliff. That does not seem to be the case. Collect your soul. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can actually climb against this. Yeah, no. We gotta go the long way. Usually there's points where you can take your AI friend and then they'll like boost you up. Oh yeah, these are sacks of like money that you can use. Scoria is like the currency, the diamond shape you see there under my name, and then when you die you lose it in its little pouch that you can go back and grab. And this appears to be a real player, just based on how they're moving. Like the AI sort of follows you around like a weird religious individual, but yeah, so there's the targeting. That's in the right stick, and then you can kind of sway between the characters if you'd like. So just a little bit more of a dynamic sort of option. And it certainly like changes up how you combat. I like the free kind of battling, but the choice is entirely up to you, because obviously this gives you a lot more of a direction in what you're doing. And there's lots of enemies, and we can go off the beaten path and explore side areas. And yeah, that's gotta be like a real person. because they're doing their thing. Although the AI will sometimes completely just leave you be. Oh, jeez. I've fallen and I can't get up. Should be interesting to see if this guy revives me or not. I have, like, some of the AI walk a little bit slow, like, weirdly sometimes. They get, like, sometimes they don't trigger. Like, I've had, like, a wolf that was around a corner and it'll just kind of stand there sometimes instead of doing stuff. I think I'm gonna give up, and then you can see the context of dying in this. Yeah. So I'm not sure he's gonna come and get me. Alright, now we're back. Sliding down again. And yeah, it's just a very lovely sort of thing. And it can be difficult, like you just saw. Like, I just kind of died there, and it's a complete surprise. But then when you die, you gotta deal with the enemies again. And I don't care for that kind of combat. I really love a focus on narrative in games. So it doesn't thrill me exactly, but I do like a good challenge at the same time. And I think this one definitely provides this. And you can play for, you know, quite a few hours. Again, with it being based off of, like, you know, how much you die, how hard you find the combat. Are you really good at the stamina-based system? You know, some people are just goddamn awesome at it, and they roll and they twist and they've got patience and stuff. And, yeah, they can really, you know, rock it. And other people, they're just gonna have a harder time, and that's just kind of what this is. Oh, that looks cool. And it's just a sense of a wondrous, like, living sort of world that you're exploring. And there's so many types of things. Like, it's simplistic in what you know, can do, but there's a lot of complexity in it, in the fact that you have all these distinct zones to explore and really, you know, discover these weird things going on.